to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Welcome to the Detroit Cast on a Thursday with Mike and Jay. Big E is here. Mickey is here. And how you doing, buddy?
I'm well. Well to quite well. Right in there.
Very good.
Really well.
Yeah, busy day. Always
Yeah.
a busy day.
It's been a busy time for me, Mike. You
Yes,
know that?
I do.
I'm hanging on.
Barely.
Smelling salt. Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a powerful one today. That hit me sideways, too.
It's funny how some of them are different, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Quite pungent.
Absolutely. It was a busy day. Our app is coming along swimmingly.
Nice. Have
By
you
the
mentioned the app before?
I don't think I've mentioned the app. We've got a Detroit Cast app in the works. My brother-in-law, Jin Su, is out in Northern California working his ass off on an app for
Father
us.
of Eid.
Yes, father of Eid. Yes. My sister's already using it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's got it on her iPhone.
Holy shit, man.
She says it's sweet. So
Well, this isn't going to solve all our problems, right? All the problems. With
All of them?
Every one of them.
Wow, nice.
all those
Yeah,
all
we're
those emails and
problem-free.
stuff we get where they're like, fuck, it won't download on Stitcher or whatever it is.
Mhm.
This is going to solve it.
hopefully, yeah, if we can get people to use it, and it's meant to be what it is, an app that will play our show, give you
Download the show, right?
download the show, play it for you, let you
Access past episodes.
past episodes, all that kind of stuff. It's not going to have like bio information.
Not going to have all the bells and whistles.
right.
It's got the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, what we're finding out as we do this, because this is all so much of this is new to you and I, especially Jay. We're finding out from people that every app comes with its positives and negatives. Some of which are things like Stitcher, where we just recently found out they'll just pause our show in mid-show and play commercials, which is like, wait a minute.
That's not cool.
Yeah, we're not paying for those. And I suppose they're going, hey, it's a free fucking app. Deal with it. You know, we supply the app and this is what we make our own rules.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, fuck you. We'll supply our own app and we will make it how we want
There
it,
you
which
go.
is,
And it's going to be $50 each download, right?
yeah, right.
Free
Well,
app.
Jay did say,
$500 a month. Yeah, it'll be a free app.
well, Jay said it was going to solve all our problems. I assume that meant financially as well.
The monetary one. Yeah,
Yes,
hopefully.
Those are those main problems.
Eventually, E.
It'll get us started. I don't know how it works. It'll be available for the Apple iOS platform first. And then Jin is going to build one.
Jinzu.
Jin Su will build one for
So it's Sue, not Zoo.
Sue.
Sue.
See,
Yeah.
some sort of Oriental relations,
I
or
don't feel like Chinese tonight anyway.
there we go.
Oriental.
Um,
Doing
How outdated is Oriental? That's like saying Mongoloid, dude.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we
it
wouldn't
is.
want to say that.
No.
Oh fuck, my god.
Well, we work with one. We're doing our part.
Well,
We're supporting
it
that
sounds like we're all,
the Mongoloid industry.
and it sounds like you're using an Oriental to help us.
Oriental. Asshole. Listen, if I want to be racist on my time, I will be. Don't
Fine.
do it to my family members, you son of a bitch.
Please keep helping build that app, Jinsu.
Yeah, Jin's been working literally like hours around the clock to help us do this thing.
What does that mean?
there's-
Hours around the clock.
Well, he was up till 3:30 in the morning the other day working on our app. Usually when he builds an app, there's, I don't know, 4 other engineers working
No,
on it.
I don't
and
doubt he's working hard. My
programmers.
question was just the phrasing. Hours around the clock.
Yeah. Well, you know what I meant. Asshole.
What do you
It's
mean?
a room full of assholes today. What's wrong with you people?
Today?
Yes.
Mickey's here. Speaking of.
No kid dog. though.
Not Mickey. Mickey's never.
Yeah,
an
I don't think I
asshole.
was an asshole yet.
No, you
Wait,
weren't.
click. Asshole.
Oh Jesus
Asshole.
Christ, moron!
That's 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 people in the room are being assholes.
You're not counting yourself in this.
Nope. No, I'm being a perfect gentleman. So anyway, that's something to look forward to. Anyways, it sounds like it'll be cool. I've seen screenshots of it. It looks really cool. So some tweaks to go, and it will be available a little further down the road for the other Android as
Awesome.
well. So yeah. Anyway, dare I say a big show today? We got a lot to get to. We got a cruise ship assault. Holy fuck, man!
This is happening more and more. Makes me wonder about those ships, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. For some, there are people that either love cruise line things for vacation, or people that despise it.
Sort of proving to be the Wild West, though, in terms of
Yeah.
security and stuff.
Yeah, and this story plays right into that hand. We'll give you details coming up. We got a more ISIS being assholes. A quick story from them. Snakes in a house.
Oh,
I know. Your favorite story. Pretty disturbing too. The hold the coke with your tits campaign. Hold
Yeah,
the coke with
everybody's
your
seen
boobs.
this, right?
Yeah, I think so. Little update on that. DC mansion murders. Baltimore needing some help from the federal level. The Boston terror plot. More coming out on that as well. The guy who was shot and killed.
Raheem?
Yeah, Osama Rahim,
Yes.
I think his name was. There's
Shot and
another
killed yesterday, right? He was brandishing a pretty badass knife.
Yeah, the Jihadi John knife.
Yeah,
Wow,
coming at
very,
two
very
cops.
similar.
Yep. But more details are coming out on that. And remember his brother.
Ibrahim?
Yes.
Ibrahim Rahim?
Yes. He immediately took to Facebook to say how
He was shot in the back, right?
he was shot in the back 3 times. He was just sitting out in front of CVS at the bus stop, on his way to work. Just a good, hardworking young man on his way to work when he was targeted because he was Arab and shot in the back 3 times by cops. That fucking piece of shit should be hauled in himself. Seriously. I mean, what are you hoping to do? Start a riot? Is that what the plan is? So anyway, there's video of it, so that probably won't go very far. But another guy was arrested in connection with terrorism. Along with that now they're saying the conspiracy was to behead a cop.
Oof.
That was their plan. And their plans had changed because their original plan was to behead Pamela Geller. Remember, Pamela Geller is the one who started the Mohammed drawing in Texas.
Really?
She was part of that whole thing. Remember that?
Mhm.
Where the guys showed up to
Just got taken out.
boom, boom.
Barely got out of the
Yeah.
cars.
Oh.
Didn't they drive like 20 hours too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they drove from like Phoenix
Yeah.
to Dallas to go do that 13 hours
Just
or
because
something.
I just remember still thinking like this idea. I'd like to see them in the car. Like, okay, here we
getting
go.
jacked
Here we
up.
go.
Yeah,
Fuck
we got
yeah.
this shit. We got this shit. They
Oh,
open
yeah.
the door. Boom, boom.
Ooh.
Can you imagine what it?
All
My
those
God.
people like, dude, now what do we do? That sucked. That was too easy.
The whole way just Ali Akbar, Ali Akbar.
Ali Akbar.
Well, however Mike does it.
Hello,
There we
Akbar.
go. I can't do the name.
Ali Akbar's close. Oh, he spells it OLLIE. Ali Akbar.
I don't even know how to spell. I don't even know how to start with Akbar. ACBAR. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
great.
that's
No,
good.
great.
ACBAR. Yep. Suspect David Wright was taken into custody at his home in Massachusetts late yesterday. He's
Perfect. Ooh, a
expected to face.
co-conspirator.
Yes, he's expected to face federal charges. He and Osama Rahim were reportedly planning to kill a cop, and they planned to act on Tuesday, which is why, remember, it was like we got new information and felt like we needed to act now, which is why they approached him and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We believe the intent was to behead a police officer. They have video showing Rahim, who was under 24-hour surveillance for about 3 weeks by counterterrorism units, lunging with a knife at a Boston cop and an FBI agent before he was shot and killed. That, of course, is the account that his brother strongly disputes. Rahim had been making threats against police, but they're not authorized to give details on that. But they just don't have the manpower to put every asswipe under 24-hour surveillance. So this guy obviously got on their radar and stayed on their radar. If they've got him under 24-hour surveillance for weeks, that says something. Members of the Joint Terrorism Task Force approached him Tuesday morning to question him about terrorist-related info. That's when he came at the officers. Task Force members hit him once in the torso, once in the abdomen. Authorities say they'd been watching him for quite a while and knew there was a new level of alarm prompted them to try to question him Tuesday. The officers didn't have their guns drawn when they approached him. The video shows him coming at the officers while they were backing away, too.
Came at him. Wow.
Yeah.
Coming at him. It's offensive.
Yeah. It's really offensive.
Deserve to get shot, though? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I mean, would you want
kick
that
to
on
the
you?
head, a kick to the head, a leg sweep.
You're going to do a leg sweep on a guy
Legs-
that's coming at
I
you?
don't know.
I wouldn't want a guy coming at me. He would be fine with it, but
Are you under?
Guys,
I think
it's a
you should have
serious
got.
news story. I don't
If
know.
a guy walks up and starts coming at you, I think you fucking shoot him. I'm serious. I mean, you run that risk. I mean, there are other. You might run into a Big E who's like, "Yeah, bring it on. Try to hit me in the face." But then you might run into Officer Walters who might just go boom, 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 boom.
I agree. I just
I,
wonder
well,
if
by the
it
way,
was his life was in danger.
I would be just as much to shoot someone coming at me. I'm not gonna let some guy come at me.
Not for anything less than 250, anyways.
I'm never going to think of that phrase the same again.
Me
He
either.
came at
Thank
me.
you for this. Thank you for that.
That guy came at me.
Well, by all means.
Wow, that's what kind of-
He came at me with great dispatch.
Can you imagine if that's what the video showed? That all the time we're thinking he charged the cop, but really
No, he's coming at him.
he's standing
actually
like feet from the cop, and you see just nut flying at the cop's face. He's ducking away, and the feds just pull out their guns and shoot him.
Yeah,
He was coming at me.
We assumed this was a justified shooting all along. Guy was found with a knife, but actually he was just coming at him.
That would be hilarious, and still justified. By the way, I still think that would warrant a
I think
justified
more
shooting.
It goes
Justified.
into that gray area, but
Yeah.
I tend to agree with you.
He was confronted by 3 officers that claiming to his brother, who was shot in the back 3 times. He was on his cell phone with my dear father. He was on his way to meet Nana.
Sure, we heard this
He
story.
was starting college on Monday.
What's with all the people that get shot? They all are like, oh, they were just on their way to grandma's
Big
house.
plans, right?
Right.
Big plans.
They all seem to be very wholesome plans right before they just get shot
Yeah.
out of
And,
nowhere.
and even if they were really bad in their past and they got a record of it, well,
Well-
they turned it around.
Like yesterday.
yeah.
Yeah. He would never come at an officer.
people can
He
shake-
would never, ever come at an officer.
He came at people before, but he wouldn't have done it now.
Yeah, he's changed now. He was
Yeah.
going to college on Monday.
Mhm.
And he
people can change.
renewed his
guys.
faith. And
And we're coming on people
no more coming on people.
or at people. Sorry.
The Council of American Islamic Relations will monitor the investigation. What's the monitor? You don't go coming at cops. You just don't do it. We have a number of questions. Why exactly was he being followed? What was the probable cause for this particular stop? Were there any video cameras or body cameras of the incidents? How do you reconcile the 2 versions of the story? The family version being that he was he was on his normal commute to work at a bus stop.
Yeah, I'll tell you how. They don't know shit about what was going on.
Ha!
Exactly.
Family's story is just a bunch of assumptions just thrown out there to make the guy look good.
Yeah.
And the cops look bad.
Isn't that amazing how
Little
that
did they
works?
know he was coming at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
right.
mean, I think if they knew that, probably though, they'd look at it a little differently.
It's amazing. We see it time and time again, and there will be other stories today where you see it, where family is amazingly able to be blinded to whatever little Johnny might be up to, or
Right.
Osama in this case might be up to. They're just, but it I think it loses credibility when every single time almost it's like, no, he was on his way to worship and he was on the phone with dear father and he was a good kid. He was just on his way to commute to work. It's like, okay, well that says you absolutely knew nothing about him.
Mhm.
Is what it says. By the way, my man, you're 3,000 miles away. So while you're 3,000 miles away, it sounds like your brother's being rather dickish in his behavior. So I don't know what to tell you. It sucks you lost your brother and all that, but maybe he had it coming. Sorry.
Well,
Well,
he did have it coming.
yeah, he did have it coming.
I think
Right
that's
at cops.
undisputed.
Yes. Unfortunately, there's video of it. So, yeah, it's rather graphic in
He
nature.
had
Not
it
the shooting,
coming.
but
He had it coming.
he did. It's amazing. You could see the knife laying on the ground too.
The knife. Whoa. Why,
Yeah, he was
why
coming
would,
at the cop.
Why would a knife be?
Well, he
involved?
was coming at a cop, and he had a knife in his hand. I mean, it was a really
Double threat.
That's
yeah, it was a really ugly scene.
We got-
it really
I give him
was.
some credit though if he can come at him with a knife and also come at him.
Well, no.
I mean,
He's doing the international symbol of
well,
whacking off with a knife.
well,
Right.
you could argue, Jay, that he was holding 2 knives, huh?
Yeah, I guess you could argue that. You could try to
Maybe a
shoehorn that into a joke, I guess.
You could say he was brandishing 2 weapons. I suppose would be better.
That would
but-
be the more appropriate joke.
Maybe
But you know, it was
whatever.
off the cuff.
yeah.
It's kind of an improv thing.
Did you use your 2-foot-long shoehorn to get that joke out there?
Son of a, how
Is that the one you
how
used?
do you remember that of all things? That was such a
Yeah, he
mild
got one for
remark.
Christmas, right? He got
Right.
he got an old man's shoehorn. So they make these 2-foot shoehorns so old men don't have to reach over and they can still get their shoes on.
And so that lame personalities can make really bad jokes.
Yeah, so
Kinda
he got
make
one
sure
for
they fit.
Christmas, man. 2-foot shoehorn.
Oh, did someone just?
Open a refreshing Red Bull? Yes.
Don't change the subject, you joke killing son of a bitch.
I don't know. I just told it didn't work. I don't know what you're gonna do. They can't all be gold.
They can't all be. Right.
And it's amazing how few are.
Nonetheless, I'm still here.
That's right.
A year and a half later.
the problem with these family that come out and immediately run to social media and act like they've got this darling child, and that's done to incite people. It kind of breeds that idea of whipping up a group, like we've been targeted because we're this group.
Yeah.
And so you've got millions of other people that fit into that category too, who are just minding their business. And then they see that. They might not watch the news every night. They might not look at the police reports and watch the video. They might just see something like that and go, wow, he's a church elder and he's saying this, and just take that at face value. And then all of a sudden it just kind of further builds that idea that we're being hunted, we're being targeted. We see it all the time with race relations, and this kind of thing in Boston is no different.
Yeah, let's be responsible in our reporting, family members.
Yeah, well,
and let's be honest.
Or I don't know that you could do anything about it, but you see the way these things play out, and it's happening in Baltimore right now, who just had the most violent month in the history in 40 years. Now, if you take into account that, much like Detroit, their population has decreased in the city by about 300,000 people. So it's arguable that the murders that have happened in May, 43 of them, I believe, in Baltimore, is the worst month population-wise they've ever had in the city of Baltimore, ever.
So what do you attribute this, Mike?
Oh, I don't know. Crazy. Well, part of what they're attributing it to is all the drugs that are on the streets now.
After the looting, right?
Yes. 27 pharmacies were absolutely ransacked. People's prescriptions were stolen. They immediately gutted all the painkillers, which have a street value through the roof. And prescription drugs have so flooded the streets, they've warned customers now. Rite Aid is warning customers that their personal medical information could be on the streets too. The labels on prescriptions were stolen as well, including patients' names, addresses, the names of medications. Rite Aid has hired a risk management firm to help protect customers from identity theft. The risk also extends to customers at looted pharmacies across the city. The DEA is now involved. They're reviewing surveillance footage from 27 pharmacies to possibly file charges against people. Depending on what info the pharmacies include on prescription labels, criminals could improperly refill prescriptions, bill medical care to the prescription holder's insurance, or combine the information with other stolen data to commit larger acts of fraud. It would not surprise me if patients who use those pharmacies that were looted were to learn that they're victims of medical identity theft at this point. Police Commissioner Anthony Batts said police were working with federal partners now. They've called in the feds. They don't know what to do about all the problems in Baltimore right now. So they've called in the federal government to try to help them get a handle on this. And so that's what's going on in Baltimore right now, to seize more than 175,000 units of new drugs that have hit the market. So they believe there are turf wars for these things, which has led to the rise in gang violence. And the fact that their cops are kind of just going, fuck, man, I don't know what to do. I'm not going in there. I'm not going to be on front page of the news tomorrow for being a racist cop. So they don't feel like anyone's got their back. So they're just kind of like, yeah, fuck them, whatever.
Yeah, we did ask if that was ever going to happen. Kind of remember with like New York and stuff like that, if the cops would finally just say, you know what, you want to go at it, go ahead. Looks like, so is that what kind of happened here then?
Totally.
Why?
And it's happening across the country.
Why would you? Why wouldn't you do that?
And Jay and I've said that for a year now. Like, dude, I'd turn in my badge. What's the point?
There's no way I'd do that job.
Yeah. Or at least say, I'm not going down there and, like you said, going to that war zone. You're going to arrest some guy again on the front page.
Well, I just don't understand either. I see all these people, these community leaders who are outraged that cops are given the benefit of the doubt all the time in these instances. Why are cops always given the benefit of the doubt? It's like, well, who do you want the benefit of the doubt to go to? The criminal on the street? Is that what you'd rather have? I mean, I think that it only seems normal. I'm not saying every cop's a good guy or they're not capable of improper behavior or treatment of people across the board. Like any line of work, you're going to have bad apples in there. But this idea that we're all coming at this from a level playing field. No, fucker. That's not how this works. Seriously. So anyway, they've got prescription drugs looted from everyone, and meth clinics were hit as well. So yeah, that's enough. There's enough narcotics on the streets of Baltimore to keep it intoxicated for a year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a party.
The amount of drugs is
Yeah,
thrown
head
off
down
the
there.
balance in the streets.
Yeah, fuck. Looks like that's where's a place to be.
Yeah, and that they don't even have a handle on all the drugs that were stolen. They said only about 40% of the reporting from these stores, like they've been going through their records to see exactly what was taken. So they don't even have an accurate count yet.
Yeah, but
That's
a
just
lot of
what
that,
they
a lot
know
of that shit in pharmacies, it's not going to get you high, right? It's just,
Yeah, a lot of it will.
of course, a lot of
Yeah.
it will, but a lot of it is, I don't know, fucking blood thinners and shit. Like,
Yeah, but you do that.
Oh,
right, and
I
then you
think
start-
they knew what they were looking for, though. I mean, if you're a street level kid going in to loot a pharmacy,
but I'm just saying the fact that pharmacies have been completely gutted doesn't mean that every fucking drug in there has some sort of street value.
no, they were gutted of the powerful painkillers and things. Like they went in and targeted those specific things. It's not like they took all they targeted Xanax and they targeted Oxys and they targeted Vicodin and Perks, methadone, all those types of things is what they're going after.
Zotford still needs your trade-in, so we've had to extend this offer. For a limited time, Zotford is conducting a special key for key event. During this event, you can exchange your current vehicle for a brand new 2015 Ford without spending a dime out of your pocket. Also, we may be able to match or lower your monthly payment. Zotford is authorized to assist you in terminating the remainder of your loan or lease, no matter what you owe. You give us the keys to your current vehicle, and we will give you the keys to a brand new 2015 Ford. Plus, as an added bonus, Zotford will make your first month's payment up to $500. You can only do this at Zotford, and you can only do it during the month of June.
More information coming out on the DC murders, the Savopoulos family.
Right, this asshole who ordered the pizza,
Yeah,
and his awesome lawyer is going, oh, no, he doesn't even like pizza.
yeah.
That's his defense right now.
Well, forensics investigating the Mansion murders say that they have found a second piece of DNA evidence linking the accused to the crime.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, police sources, two of them actually have confirmed they found blood on the shoe of one of the suspects. The only suspect, Darren Wint. So right afterwards, they've got Darren Wint's shoe and they found blood from one of the victims inside the house's body.
So the I don't wear those ugly ass shoes defense isn't available.
Well, I suppose you could try to retap that and go there.
Except he was wearing said shoes when they caught him, and it has said blood on it.
Right. The
Mhm.
Bruno Mollies.
Yeah.
Ugly ass shoes. Darren Wint, they say that the blood was on his shoe at the time of the arrest that matches one of the four victims found dead inside the $4.5 million house that was set on fire. He's charged with first-degree murder. Now, what else is coming out late today is it sounds like maybe that assistant had a little bit of a role in this. Savopoulos, Mr. Savopoulos' assistant that brought the 40 grand over.
Inside job.
Yeah, sounds like it was. He's lied to the feds on 3 separate occasions. They're trying to get his phone records now, which I think they may have gotten his phone records, but there's some connection there, and they don't like his story's not adding up. And it sounds like he was newly hired by Savopoulos as an assistant, and there may have been some texts, and so yeah, this is all going to come undone for these guys.
I don't know. It's just crazy to me that people, especially with texting, then to say, you realize this stuff's going to come out, right? Like the idea of hiring someone brand new, texting back and forth, and then, oh, crazy.
Yeah. Well, 40 grand in cash,
Yeah, I know.
God, 4 lives lost over 40 grand. They had a funeral yesterday for the Savopoulos family and the maid, and the daughters came back for the funeral. The 2 daughters
right,
that
they
were
had
away
2
at boarding
teenage-
school.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, should we look at it? Or you guys
ask you.
already-
E? How old are they?
19 and 17. Pretty fucking hot, aren't they? And pretty fucking rich too.
I'd do either one of them.
You would? Even the 17?
With consent. 17 with consent.
That's right.
Signed consent. You're fine.
They do look very rich.
Oh my God.
Don't they?
How nice it would be to look like that and also be rich. Fuck me. Oh my God.
By the way, the lawyer, Robin Ficker, the guy that said he's innocent. He doesn't even like pizza. That guy.
Yeah.
I found this interesting. He claims.
Hold on. Did these chicks look sad enough to you?
This one doesn't.
No.
Well, they just
This might be
inherited a company.
good
and-
news out of DC.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
She does not look sad in the least.
This girl,
At least in these images.
this blonde, does not look at all sad. She looks like she's just going to do something.
I'm
kinda
not
like,
sure that
eh.
blonde isn't adopted.
Does that matter?
No, I'm just saying. I don't know how she
Well,
fits
how
in.
does that play into the
She
story?
doesn't look like the rest of them. But the chick, the first chick, definitely looks like a family member, and she doesn't look as upset as I would think she would.
She looks a little like she doesn't look happy.
She looks hot.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
We can all
Let's
agree
not
on
Go to
mince
the next
words.
one, man.
No, blonde doesn't look. She just looks like it's kind of like she's doing this. Like she,
Yeah, the blonde is just there out of
like,
obligation, kind
I
of.
gotta do this thing, I guess.
Yeah. And can that redhead next to her have worse posture?
No, her posture sucks pretty
She's
bad.
gonna have osteoporosis before you know it.
Horrible.
Drink your milk, lady.
Yeah, look, she's like this. She's like,
She didn't get her hair done for shit either.
She's like a 24-year-old firebush with
it's
osteoporosis.
horrible. She is gonna have a hump.
I think she
She's gonna
just
be a
rolled-
dromedary before you know it.
She looks like she just rolled out of bed and showed up
Yeah,
there.
that's awful.
I think that's the dress she was wearing last
Her
night.
face is kind of like it's not sad. It's more just like she's just kind of like.
The
Ugh.
blonde looks bored. Like,
Yeah.
is this over yet? I
They
have
both-
like millions to spend.
When are you gonna read the will?
Both these look.
Did
I
they
like-
read the will right here?
Did they
or-
read the will at the funeral? Or
like? Is it before
what?
they
Mike,
put the
they both
body on
look-
the ground?
They both look bored to me. These two, the
Yeah.
blonde and this one, they both look bored.
Yeah.
And the other one just.
The redhead's a cousin, obviously.
She got like. There's a lot
Yeah.
going on there. Honestly. That I can't get over that posture. You're right. What?
Yeah, it's awful, man. Look, she's got the little pooch going on and everything.
That's what I was just gonna say when I said there's more going on here.
Straight out of
that-
Stockton.
No, I know, but that's what I was kind of thinking. I just didn't know. I couldn't think of the word to describe it.
Pooch.
She's got her nice Louis Vuitton bag. She's got I don't know, 50 bracelets on her
Yeah,
wrist. So at least she looks styling.
Well, you got to get ready for.
definitely has a nicely tailored little cocktail looking dress.
Mm-hmm. Can't mourn forever, right?
You
What
can't.
are we looking at here?
I
Oh,
wanted
cool.
to ask
work,
you about this though, Jay. That lawyer.
Oh.
He's kind of a bag of wind, and he popped off to say,
I love that phrasing, a windbag. You know, I don't know.
I have completed 30,000 cases in Maryland courts, and I've met a lot of criminals, and of course, people who aren't criminals in my life. I do not believe his parents, his mother, his brother, his sister, as I don't believe that he is capable of killing anybody. He's just not the type. He's a gentle person. He doesn't eat pizza. If he was hungry, he wouldn't order pizza. But what stood out to me is I have completed 30,000 cases. 30,000 cases.
Wow.
So
It's probably everything from a freaking, speeding ticket to, I don't know.
yeah, but 30,000. I mean,
That sounds like a lot to me.
yeah, it sounds like a lot to me too. I mean, I don't know how long he's been a lawyer, but
You do 10 cases a day. You do 10 cases a day.
yeah, what would the math be
Well,
on
how
that?
many
If-
cases would you estimate, Jay, that you've done?
Oh,
wait,
15.
right. No, I don't know, maybe 100.
Wow, so just because the point is that puts like
Yeah,
if you've
Now
30
you're doing not speeding tickets.
right. You do
But
cases that
still-
last over a year, and
but
Yeah.
still, I'm just 130,000.
that gives you a sense. No, those criminal guys can clip through things, or family law stuff like that. You can clip through things a little bit quicker, but that
People
does
such as
seem
David
like
Helm?
quite a bit. Gentlemen
Yeah.
like David Helm, yeah.
Yeah. Helm, David, if you're listening, see,
and he better be.
Yeah, how
if
many
he-
cases have you
email-
completed?
yeah, email us if 30,000 cases seems like a lot.
It
In
absolutely does.
even if that was 30 years of practice, that would be, I don't know,
That'd be 1,000 a year,
1,000
Mike.
a year, right?
He was about to not know.
I was, yeah, I was going
that'd
to
be 3 a day.
yeah. That seems like a lot. If you had a 30-year
And you
career.
gotta assume like you gotta take some of those days off, like Christmas,
Well,
Thanksgiving.
yeah. Well, let's assume he's clipping through several traffic tickets a day. There's no effing way, dude.
So you think he's just a windbag?
Yeah.
Perhaps? When's your Pigman trial going to start?
Good damn,
I
when's that
told you,
pigment start,
in the
When?
fall.
In the fall.
No, that's not good enough. I
Yeah.
want it now.
Can
I want
we-
the
can we-
pigment now.
Call him and tell him to speed it up.
You want to
Let's go.
You could, I suppose.
What about a speedy trial? What about that? Come on, man.
Yeah, the Pigman has a right to a speedy trial. So does his little buddy. We need justice for little
That's
buddy.
right.
Well, we've got a new one not quite as glamorous or as sexy as the pigment trial.
There's no exposed erect penis.
Yeah, unless it comes out that this chick was, blowing 50 guys or something and sending titty pictures to him. I mean, I suppose that's possible, but I kind of doubt it. We got an 18-month-old girl who has died. Her mother mistakenly left her behind in her car while she went to teach at an elementary school.
Dude,
wow,
Yeah.
what a nightmare.
Jamie Buckley parked her car outside Panama City Elementary School in Panama, Florida, 7:30 in the morning, left her daughter, Reagan, in the back seat as she headed inside.
Baby Reagan.
Baby Reagan, yes. The married mom, 38, did not discover the little girl until she returned to the car around 3:15 while temperatures rose to above 80
Wait a minute,
degrees.
though.
What?
I get the idea that you could forget, but there wasn't a time. Oh, I guess there'd be daycare, so maybe she didn't have to worry about.
Yeah, she went to work.
Yeah.
Mickey has an objection. You don't believe it?
I can't imagine leaving your kid.
Mickey, my God.
No,
Damn,
I
cynical
can
asshole.
totally see how this could happen.
Really?
Yep.
my
Yeah, we've
God.
talked about this before, dude. If you're not, we talked about how you can drive somewhere and go, how the fuck did I get here?
Yeah.
How you can just totally turn off your brain, and that shit happens particularly in the morning on the way to work.
Sometimes you can be going to the bus stop and maybe be late. And
Yeah, right, right. Forget your kid.
Russ,
Yeah. So, dude, I can sympathize.
Yeah.
Never done it, but
You
I
don't
could
seem
see how
to
it happens.
sympathize with the pigment.
Well,
Oh, when you're setting
other
a right-
nefarious activities. Is that the
seems to
problem?
be.
Well, she returns to the car about 3:15 degrees in the car. Oh, it was over 80, like 83 degrees outside. Preliminary investigation revealed the mother simply forgot the child in the car. Yes, Reagan was still inside the car seat when she was found.
Wow.
Deputies found Reagan, unresponsive and not breathing. I'm not breathing. When they arrived and were unable to resuscitate her, she was pronounced dead at the scene. An investigation is ongoing. Authorities have not said whether they'll bring any charges against the mom. Reagan, is believed to be at least the third child to die this year after being left in a hot car. A 16-month-old girl from Lake City. I don't know where that is. Utah? Do they mean?
Yeah.
Lake City, Utah. Do you remember a 16-month-old? Not to be confused with Reagan.
Right.
Who died last month after her dad forgot to take her to daycare and then went to work.
What would be worse, running over your kid, backing out of the driveway, or leaving it in a hot Carl situation?
Hot Carl would be way worse.
I don't know. I think running over your kid.
No way, dude. Leaving it in a car means the kid suffered
Crushed
for
skull.
hours.
Crushed
No.
skull.
I thought you were talking about in your mind if you were the parent what we've seen worse. Because I would think
Yeah, which would be worse as the parent?
I think leaving running your kid over. Because I think leaving your kid, like you said, you've been through situations where maybe you set him in the car. Okay, it's 6 a.m. you leave. I got to drive up to daycare. Blah blah. Whatever. You forget.
Okay.
Running your kid over.
Did I
the
run-
chance of a productive day that day is what he's saying. I think you
Did
leave
I-
the kid, you go have a productive day, you come out, it's dead.
You think-
Whereas
but-
if you back out of the driveway, your day is done.
That's true.
No.
Am I backing over my kid or am I running him over with
You're
the front
backing.
bumper?
You're backing over your kid.
Okay, I think that's an important distinction.
Plus, that's on the
I
kid.
don't want to know if I'm mowing him down, if he's running down the
No,
street.
you don't even see it. You just feel the
Okay.
lump.
Well, no. Wait
Bump, bump.
a minute. No.
Yeah,
Here's the
So
other
what the
reason.
hell was that? Somebody leave a skateboard in my driveway?
yeah.
No, that was sweet pie.
Wait a minute.
No, not
No, wait.
sweet pie. Nobody can hit a sweet
I'm
pie.
telling you. Here's another reason why Hot Carl is worse. Like Hot Carl.
You just
You
said the
got-
other one was worse.
No, both times I've said the Hot Car situation is worse.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
You just
said
totally
running it over.
waffled, you
No, I didn't.
retard.
Yes.
you
I
did.
didn't.
Mongoloid. Yes,
Oh
you
my
did.
God.
Oh, whatever. I don't think I. Okay, well, if I said it, I said it wrong. I think Hot Car is the worst. Oh no. Running, you're right. I did. Okay, so no, but
So here's E's reason.
here's an argument for why the Hot Car.
He's arguing with himself. This
And
is
just
great.
present an argument.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Hey,
matter.
devil's
If it's,
advocate.
sure.
I'm
The
playing
hot-
the prosecution and the defense today.
Dude,
You can make. Okay, let me make. Okay, I'll
Okay.
change my argument. I think I have a better argument anyway. You can make the argument that Hot Car is worse because that's on you. You can make the argument that running and backing up, that's kind of on that kid. Like he shouldn't be in the way of the. What's he sitting in the driveway for while you're backing up to go to
I
work?
don't know. He's one.
Yeah, but still,
Who's leaving a 1-year-old
Well,
in the
you
driveway?
didn't. You didn't monitor the 1-year-old.
I know.
You allowed the 1-year-old
That's a
out of the
little on
house.
him.
I think if
standing
it's
in the
a
back of your car.
1-year-old, it's on you. If it's a 4-year-old, I mean, come on, let's take some personal
Well, I
responsibility.
agree with that,
here.
but no 4-year-old's going to be in a hot Carl situation. 4-year-old's
True.
going to go boop, open the door.
yeah.
So we're talking
true.
about a 1 to 2-year-old. You fail
Yeah.
to monitor, that kid gets behind. You ought to have a new Ford from Zott Ford that has a backup camera on it.
Yeah, what are you
That's
doing?
true.
Good point.
But if you don't, and ba-bump,
Yeah. I think of the victim, unlike you monsters only thinking about
you
yourselves
think
in
of the
that
victim
situation.
cooking from the
I
inside.
think of the victim cooking
Yep,
from the
I think
inside.
that would be worse.
And that would be way worse for the victim.
No, totally.
Imagine that kid
Unquestionable.
wailing and nobody doing anything until it passes out from literally cooking.
Here's the
That's
thing. I think of the victim, and I also think of the perp. And I think as the perp, you might be able to resolve in your mind, like, I think this is where E was going with this. It wasn't totally my fault. It was a tragic accident that the kid got behind my car. But if you leave that kid locked in your car, you took it there, that's
No,
your
it's on
fault,
you.
man.
And
100%.
not to mention, imagine the guilt. Like you could say, terrible accident, I hit my kid. You could also say, hot Carl situation, terrible accident, I left my kid, but I cooked my fucking kid for hours,
Yeah.
and that kid was basically tortured.
Not a fun
Yeah.
death.
By
Yeah,
me.
no question.
Not a fun death.
My car's ruined. It smells now. Whereas here's the other thing.
We have to get a new-
You back over the kid. There's really no damage to the
Yeah,
car.
I know.
Maybe you take it to the coin wash. You get the brain
True.
matter off
Maybe
your
a
back
new
tire. But if you cook a
Right.
kid in your car, you know how stinksing that's going to be?
Yeah.
And who's gonna want to buy that
Cooked
car after
kid?
that? Like,
Oh.
Cooked kid.
Cooked kid would not be good.
can't put
And
that.
that would really stinks.
And who's gonna want to buy that car?
Think of
after
the
that?
release of the bodily fluid that goes on.
Gross.
Yeah.
Mm.
What do? Do you sell the car at a discount?
Who's gonna
obviously?
buy that? Who
At a
is gonna
discount.
buy that?
You throw some Febreze in that son of a bitch and throw
A
it up
lot.
on Craigslist.
Yeah. And don't say a word about it.
Hell no.
You almost have to give it to somebody else and have them try to sell it so they don't trace it back to you because everyone, they might recognize that you're the one who killed your kid in this car. It's like a murder house.
Right.
No one wants to buy a murder
Do you
house.
need to disclose that? Do you need to disclose?
Would you
if
buy a
someone-
murder house?
E would.
No, I would not.
You
I knew
wouldn't?
it.
No
He's
way.
such a pussy.
I
No
would.
way.
What if it was
I'd
like?
be worried there'd be a ghost in there.
What if it was like a
Ugh.
$200,000 house for
50
50K?
grand.
Oh, that'd be. Oh, damn. It would. That'd be close. It'd have to be a sick deal like that. If it was even close to normal, no way. No way would I buy a murder house.
What if it's just a Nana died in a
I don't even
recliner on the first
I don't even
floor?
want to live in my house if that happens.
I think your parents are
What
saying the
if-
same thing.
terrified of the idea of someone dying in a house. I would
Why?
not.
Why?
Because I feel like that
Humans die every minute
The
of every day.
circle of life.
I know, but that's
What
like,
if it's on the dining room couch, which is covered with plastic?
that is? You guys are actually going through my biggest fear right now. What's
You're gonna
happen-
find her. You know that, don't you? You son
I
of a
bet
bitch.
if you look at
the
the
size
records,
of that carcass,
oh yeah,
That's my biggest.
and that's
fear.
no sweeperoo, dude. You're gonna have to call us to do the 1, 2, 3 out the screen
Yeah.
door.
No, I know.
What's the first call you make if you think?
Nana's not breathing.
Oh, what?
What's
Me?
the first
Yeah,
call you
oh,
make to
sorry.
Jay,
I'm
to your
volunteering.
parents, the
Jay, what?
police,
I don't-
Chubbs?
Chubbs. I guess my parents. I don't know.
Chubbs, it stinks in here.
No, but
You
that is
gotta
my,
come over and smell this. It's gross.
you guys are. That is my biggest fear is that's going to happen in my house. I'm just
Oh,
praying.
it's very probable.
I know it is. I'm praying.
Think about
praying
this.
that
It's,
we're gonna.
it's either the coin wash or your house.
I
Where
know.
else does she go?
I see.
Well, my hope is that we will notice in time that something's happening and get her to the hospital.
I see you. I picture you, your family coming home, and there's you on the couch with a nose pin clipped on your nose, and just 2
A
hours
clothespin?
earlier.
Right, I figured.
Yeah, 2 hours earlier, you walked in, realized Nana was gone, and went,
Guess you won't be needing this anymore.
and pried the remote out of her hand and started watching
Simpsons reruns.
Well, I mean,
Just click her stories right off.
it
That
must-
TV's never to see her stories again. Boonk.
Your family comes in there in tears.
Can't mourn forever. Quiet down over there. The Simpsons are on.
Yeah, I've only seen this episode 20 times. This is a good one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think that's a no-brainer. I'd much prefer to smash my kid with my car
Yeah.
in an instant than leave it in the. in
After
the car
talking
to
it
cook.
through, I would too.
Yeah. Which way are you going on this with the waffling?
Yeah, have you changed your view? Where do you end up?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, I'd rather smash them.
Yeah, I'd rather run them over.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. That's a no-brainer. Uh,
That's a no-brainer.
have you ever waited tables, Jay?
No.
Never.
Mm-mm.
I don't think my brother has either. You have,
Yeah.
obviously. Have you ever done anything to a customer's food? I'm sure we've talked.
Yeah,
Kind of about this.
maybe we have. You know what? I actually haven't. I came close one time in my 6 years or so that I've been a server.
Was it Horatio Sand style in Road Trip? Remember that?
Yes.
When there
What
was
did he-
powdered sugar on the French toast. Guys are like,
Oh,
excuse
yeah.
me, sir, we didn't get the powdered sugar. I'm so
So
sorry,
sorry.
gentlemen. I'll take care of that right away. Takes it in the kitchen, just runs it down his ass crack.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you know what? One time this guy was just being an absolute just douchebag to me, and I came really close, but I never actually did it. And I will say, from my work, from several different experiences in restaurants, not even being server, host, whatnot, I've never actually known anybody to do something. I've known people that got real pissed, but and I'm not just saying that to say it. I would say it if I had a friend that done something, but
someone we know dipped balls in a water.
Of course.
Maybe some
did.
pubes were sprinkled on some.
But by the way, I will tell you, God damn it! It's been very tempting.
Get your balls out of the water.
I had been tempted. I will say though,
is your water not chilled enough? Let me get right on that for you.
Yeah, right.
Just dips his balls into the water.
I respect that. I respect the fuck out of that, actually.
Well, my buddy who owned a restaurant back in his early days did that, where he poured his own urine on the griddle and cooked this guy's steak on it.
Awesome.
Yeah, he fucking hated this asshole.
Awesome. He deserved it, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know
if anybody deserves that.
No,
but
I'm telling you, from working in restaurants, there are people that absolutely fucking. I've never did it, but there was people, in my opinion, that deserve something in their fucking shit.
It's amazing. I mean, I try to treat waiters as good as I can.
So do I.
So it never gets to the point where I'm being a dick or whatever, and I worry about that. But it's definitely like in my mind, like, if I were to be a dick. Wow, what power they have over you. You fucking fool if you don't think that stuff goes on.
Well, and the scary thing is because I feel the same way. Like there's no waiter out there who can go, oh yeah, that guy, I remember him. He was a real asshole. Nobody can say that about me because I treat them with complete respect, knowing the power they have when they leave your line of sight. They could do anything. Why would you even put yourself up for risk like that? But there are cases and
it's
times.
Not just that though. I hate when people talk down to waiters. That is a huge pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I totally agree. And as someone who's done that job, it sucks when being belittled by some asshole who thinks he's better than you.
Because they can.
Yeah.
There was a good line in the movie Waiting, if anyone's seen the movie Waiting. And I mean, it's probably not.
Is that where you got the idea to pull your dick out? That was from The Waiting, right?
Yeah,
What's his name?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
But it's
good
just
movie.
It's a great movie. But the line where he just says, don't fuck with people that, do your food. Like, don't fuck with the people that prepare. And it's true, man. Why would you? Someone's making your food back there and you're going to be a dick to them?
Yeah. The problem is there are dicks no matter what.
I know. And
you don't almost have to give them a reason, because I don't think it's outrageous if you order a steak medium and it comes back extra rare to go, dude, or if you order it medium well and it comes back rare. I don't think that's outrageous to go, hey man, can you throw this back on for a little bit?
No, that's not
as long
outrageous.
as you're not like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
There's a way to ask for it, but you
get
your food as you've asked for it.
Yeah.
I had people.
So I've definitely done that. Sent steaks back before. And if that's enough to get you in trouble with people,
that ain't right.
No, dude. I've had tons of people at times, because I don't cook the food. And if I put it in medium well and
you shouldn't take it personally.
I have no problem if someone just says, hey man, there's a little, no problem.
Well, that's the case here out of New York. A New York man suspected that a Chili's restaurant, a waiter had spit into his drink and got the law involved. And investigators were able to determine who spit in the drink using DNA analysis.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, is there an expense involved there that, I don't know, might be
used elsewhere?
Goes a bit far.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what goes into DNA testing. Is it as simple as a swab and a Petri dish?
Yeah. And it takes weeks or months to send that out.
There's got to be an
expense
lab work. Send it out to, really? Does this police station have the resources to do that in this instance?
What do you say?
Or did the guy pay for it himself? Maybe he did.
I don't know. It took place last July. The guy's name is Ken Yurden. He and his wife, Julia, went to dinner at Chili's in Clay, New York. The couple complained to their server, Greg Lamica, who was 24 years old at the time, that their food was undercooked and that they hadn't been served chips. So, you can see a busy restaurant, that stuff like that happens. They were polite to the server and even left the tip. We weren't rude or anything. Everybody says
right.
That,
who's going to say I was an asshole?
Yeah. I was a dick, but he still shouldn't have spit in my stuff. It was a busy night, but we didn't expect our food to get spit in. Before leaving, the couple asked for to-go drinks.
That people.
Well, I guess
people do it.
The lid popped off, and I looked in, and there was some spit in the cup. It was really bad. He dropped off his wife, 12-year-old son, before driving back to the restaurant, where managers apologized, gave him a refund, some coupons, but did not admit that this Greg Lamica was responsible for the incident. Yurden then said he ran into a sobbing Greg Lamika in the parking lot. Come on, dude, sack up, really?
No, he's got
Sobbing
yelled at by his manager.
in the parking lot where
You
he asked,
spit in this?
"Why'd you spit in my cup?" And he's like, "I didn't spit in your cup." And he's like, "You wouldn't be crying if you hadn't spit in my cup." He told Yurden he didn't want to lose his job. You should have thought of that before you spit in my cup. Since Ken had taken a couple sips of the drink before he saw the spit, he decided to get tested for the HIV and herpes.
Oh, come on.
Come on, dude. You can't get the HIV from someone spitting in your drink. Sorry. That's not possible. The herp, maybe, I suppose.
But it'd be the chances would be so minute, dude.
Yeah, it would. Several days after the Yurdens called the police, investigators showed up at Greg's door where he denied spitting in the drink, but he agreed to have his mouth swabbed for DNA. You can see where this is going.
Right.
Meanwhile, he had not been fired. He continued to work at Chili's until last October, and then he left on his own. 3 months after the incident, DNA analysis concluded the spit in the cup matched Greg Lamika's.
See, 3 months, like Jay said, right?
Yeah, it does seem like a lot, especially when you see it's like, he's been fined $175 and
Yeah.
I got a stern talking to.
Yeah, what
It's
did that
like,
analysis take? Right, $1,000 or something? I don't know.
maybe? Yeah, and I don't know who pays for it, but
Ancestry.com does DNA swab stuff for like $100, so I bet it's much cheaper for cops, right?
Okay.
maybe. But 3 months, there's a backlog of shit. It just seems like you're right. They'd have better stuff to do.
Overkill, maybe.
Yeah.
I guess it's a weird line where it's like you said, is it that big of a deal? I don't know. But on the same hand, you don't want to just be like, well, okay, this guy.
Right.
This could be a good story, though, a great news story, because the more stories like this come out, it has to discourage at least some people or make them think
Does that have a
twice.
chilling effect
Maybe.
on the spitters?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I didn't know they could DNA test
Right.
me and bust me 3 months from now for
Right.
that. So
I just don't think it. I really don't think it's like I said though. Honestly, as common as some people do think. I've never known anybody that's actually done something. Like, I mean, I've had people that kind of maybe made an order. Maybe
are you
messing
kidding?
around.
You've probably inadvertently drooled into 100 customers'
well,
food.
I mean,
You've probably dropped
No, I-
hairs.
no, I would do.
You've inadvertently spit on all of us,
No,
like today.
Now I would do this. I would do this sometimes. Is you bring a plate out and maybe you're a little hungry, so you take a few fries off the plate or something. That's pretty common, actually.
He clicked.
That doesn't surprise me. E. I imagine
No, but that's
you
pretty
have
common.
contaminated more food items than you could possibly know.
I'm
I
tell-
imagine because every restaurant has the rules of make sure you wash your hands before you hit the floor again.
Right.
Don't you hate that when you see a waiter kind of with his hand halfway into your fries, kind of like
Yeah.
holding the stuff? Like, oh, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you though that
Because nobody, wash your hands after you leave the bathroom. Sure.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of big E's walking around.
Yeah.
I'm telling you though, the idea of taking a few fries off the plate is not. I'm not the only one. That's a very common restaurant thing.
I can't believe they put you on the floor. Just knowing how you are, I would think.
They wouldn't have known. But are you kidding? We're talking. I haven't
But
been
it
a
takes
server
it takes 5 minutes of being around you to know, like, oh,
You've
man,
got your
this-
hand down your
this-
pants. you
Yeah.
know?
This guy's not the guy you want being the link
I was a good
between the
server.
kitchen and
What
the
can I do?
customer. This isn't the guy. My brother wasn't the guy. It's no offense to you. My brother worked in kitchens when he was young in high school and and shortly thereafter. And one day he was on the floor and someone complained about food being too cold. And he got into an argument with the guy on the floor. And G put his fingers in the guy's burger and went, "It's fine." And the guy was like, "Oh, I don't want it now. You put your fingers in it."
Dude,
And,
I was actually-
and he wasn't trying to be a dick. He just didn't know any better.
Gee.
I know, yeah.
I was actually
But
a pretty.
I could see E doing that, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I was
No,
actually a
sir.
pretty good server.
Look, it's actually warm. Feel it.
That's no. I never did anything. I was actually a pretty decent server.
Were you?
Yes,
All right.
I think so. I made it when I was at Big Boy for sure. I was. I never spilled any. I never once spilled a tray on somebody.
Yeah.
Oh,
You hated making milkshakes. We know that.
Oh, that fucking sucked. I hated it.
Well, hey, why don't we take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll mention the Hold a Coke with Your Boobs challenge, among other things. We'll
E,
do
are
it.
you up for that? Got some man boobies going.
Oh, fuck you.
Doughy and supple.
And then Ice is back on the trail as well. So we'll get to that and much more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, TDC friends, you know who it is. Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zott Ford and Holly. As Jay mentioned before, Zott Ford is all about offering our customers choices. Bruce Jenner chose to be a chick. Big E chose to be normcore. And Jay has foolishly chosen to be Big E's trainer. That's how life goes. Well, now you can choose which new Ford you'd like to enjoy. Right now, lease a new 2015 Fiesta, Focus, or Fusion for just $145 a month for only 24 months. Friends, even the cult leader will agree. These deals are too good to pass up. Just $145 for a new Fiesta, Focus, or Fusion. Hurry down to Zott Ford at I-75 and exit 98, or check out our sick deals and our massive inventory at ZottFord.com. Get there.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast on a Thursday with Mike and Jay.
Miguel, before you go much further, we must mention the Amazon link.
Yes.
Please use the Amazon link on our homepage. It's a way to donate to the show without taking any money out of your pocket. All you do is hit the Amazon link, do your Amazon shopping as you normally would. They won't charge you anymore, and we get a little bit of a kickback. So please use that. We appreciate it.
My sister used it like 5 times today.
All right.
Yeah. Little purchases here and there, you know, $23, $17, $20.
We bought
$18.
some. We bought some King's peanut butter on it the other day.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Did you use our Amazon link?
Yes.
Good boy.
So the money just went right back.
Did. What?
Well, I guess you're saving money in that sense, right?
Dude. Yeah.
In a sense.
You're getting a few
I'm
pennies
helping the
back.
show.
He's doing his part is what he's saying.
I gotcha.
Anyway, we mentioned before the break the hold a Coke with your titties challenge or your boobs, whatever. This was started in response kind of that ice bucket challenge.
Yeah, this
that
is
went
way
around.
better, it seems like.
Yeah, I got to say, I like this one. It started on social media of attempting to make breast cancer sexy is what people are claiming.
Breasts.
Oh, yeah,
breast-
right. Give me a break.
Yeah, well, that's what they've been accused of. He's trying to make breast cancer sexy. And the deal is, it was a joke. It was a fucking joke. Some porn star and some idiot like porn scout, like drinking beers one night, thought it'd be funny. And they posted it. And like shit tons of people, yes, went flocking to it. Like, oh, I'll put a can of Coke. There's no link to breast cancer. There's no money being made for it.
Dude.
But all these idiots think there is.
Just showing their titties.
Yeah.
These whores.
So what you're supposed to do is just post photos of you holding a can of Coke between your titties.
Betwixt
them. Yeah. A large number of images have already been posted online showing mainly topless women attempting to cover their nipples while holding a can of Coke in their titties, all apparently in the name of raising money for breast cancer. The trend started out as a joke intended to make fun of the Ice Bucket Challenge. Since the trend started, a large number of women and a handful of men have taken to social media to post photos of themselves. The Hold a Coke with Your Boobs Challenge was widely believed to have been a way for members of the public to raise money for breast cancer charities. But yeah, and they're kind of like they did for multiple sclerosis. That was the Ice Bucket Challenge.
So is that a real true test of perkiness? Like, should you be able to hold a can between your boobs? Ladies, I don't know. I mean, is that...
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah.
Do you need to be also dressed in almost no clothing too?
Yeah,
to make
right.
the
Yeah, take your pants off too, lady.
Idiots.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
already
would
wanna
most
strangle her.
people go, yeah, you should be able to hold it between.
Yeah.
I'ma make you feel alright.
Can betwixt the titties.
Looks like a Red Bull can.
Yeah.
Refreshing Red Bull.
I don't want to discourage this behavior though. I really don't.
That's the thing though. It's awesome, but it's so stupid, dude. It's just whores, right? Like,
This is my sexy honey bunny. Completing the challenge.
Look, mom, her hands.
That's like taped on there. That's taped.
Yeah.
Rockstar, rockstar. Ooh.
I'm sorry, but we're a Red Bull
Yeah.
show here. Get your rock star out.
Oh, she's gross.
Yeah, she is.
Think she's hot. Gross.
Pretty well used.
Oh, look at those giant fake idiot tits with a humongous gap between them.
What is the difference, by the way? I'm sorry, I don't
This is
remember
like
that.
a Tori Spelling boob job right
Yeah. I've never seen these thin, tall Coke cans.
Yeah, it's like a Red Bull style can.
Yeah. Like
Well,
she's,
she's just
squeeze
pushing
them
them.
together because
my
there's so much
gosh.
room between them.
And to think that half, if not more than half, perhaps all these chicks think they're like doing this altruistic thing.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're just showing. You just
I
got
don't
fooled
think-
into showing your titties.
Yep. It's
You don't think any of them think they're actually doing?
Maybe no. I think they think. Well, yeah, you probably think they are. I think what it is. I think Jay is they think they're. It's two things. They think they're helping, but really it's just an excuse. Girls like to slut out but they have to come up with a reason to do it.
Mhm.
Just like Halloween, where it's like,
Oh, good point about
You know-
Halloween.
You know what I mean? Like they all want to dress like that. Not all, but a lot of them do. But they like, oh, I don't want to look like a whore. So this is a way of
Yeah.
doing it without doing it.
Ugh.
Which again, could she be not part of the
Eee,
challenge?
she's got the red hair you like though.
I
that
do.
crazy dyed red hair.
Oh, you
love the
get
hair.
that, E.
I love the hair.
Those are some mammary glands.
The guy that started this was an entertainment scout, Danny Frost, and this model Gemma Jacks. They admitted starting the hashtag.
Wait, did somebody in this house do it like 4 times or the same chick? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
not
looks
kidding.
like
yeah.
the same chick.
Dude,
Look at
honestly,
this.
that's taped on.
No,
Really? How's
unless
that
it's
physically possible?
What is no? Again, I don't mind looking half naked. Don't get me wrong. I
Oh, here's a
love
dude. This is you, E, right here.
asshole. What is there a guy on here?
I don't know.
being a smartass. The Breast Cancer Research Foundation revealed that the trend isn't raising any money for them.
Awesome.
They told Esquire magazine that it has absolutely no connection with the campaign, but they'd happily receive donations from the challenge should they start coming in. So now the hashtag was started as a joke, was never officially connected to anything. Frost claims that he and Jax have since decided to use the publicity to promote awareness of breast cancer. They posted a message. Okay, once again, just for all of you naysayers and haters, when we started the hashtag hold a Coke with your boobs challenge, we did it as a joke. We never thought it would take off like it did, but it did. And then people started posting it was for charity and it was for breast cancer awareness. We had never planned on that nor thought of it, but since that's what people wanted to do it for, we said, why not do something good with this? So we went with it. If one girl's life is saved
Oh, that's so cliche.
because she felt something in her breast when she did this challenge,
Oh,
isn't it
yeah.
worth it?
Oh, come on.
Ugh.
do you have a problem with this guy saying this? So it sounds genuine. Like, hey, we were just fucking around, but hey, since it took
Yeah.
off,
No, it actually
yeah,
sounds
let's
more
connect it
right.
to something
Well,
positive.
Yeah, I guess if that's the end result, sure,
No,
whatever. But don't mistake it. These are chicks that just want to show their titties. They all look like strippers, and it's I don't know. I hate this trend of look at me, the
Well,
ice
that goes
bucket
back
challenge.
to the point he and I were talking about though. You don't think some of them actually think that they're being fooled into thinking that they're raising money? I mean, we looked at the very stripper looking ones.
yeah.
I'm sure there's run of the mill chicks out there doing that.
Well,
You think?
Yeah.
no, Mike just said it, and I kind of said it. I know I already said it, but I really think that's what it is. I think some of them think it's helping. I'm sure they think it, but that's also an excuse for them to do it.
Yeah, but
and
my
not look
point
like-
just now was Mike seemed to think that none of them think they're actually helping.
Oh no, I
I
think they think.
Tend to
Oh,
agree
they-
with the
they
ones we just
may.
watched, dude. Those were strippers.
Yeah.
But I don't know how prevalent this is, but it sounds like there's run of the mills out there.
Maybe. I haven't seen enough of it, and I don't want to discourage it in any way. The more like the breastfeeding in public, yeah. It's not fair. Guys get to show their nipples. We should be able to too. I applaud you, women. I agree. I
Stand
totally
up for your
agree.
rights.
Stand up for your rights. This is an absolute outrage that you're not allowed to show your titties and nipples on public streets. It's an outrage that needs to be corrected. I agree with you. And this one, I don't care if it raises a dime for shit. I don't care, but I can get behind this movement.
What do we got? A Darth Vader there?
Yeah, who knew Lord Vader had such gorgeous titties?
Let me see.
Look at that.
Huh.
What is?
Yeah.
Whatever. I guess. Breast cancer. Woo.
How's your Hitler mustache coming in, by the way?
Oh, I didn't even think I could shave it. I guess.
Yeah, you can and you will for Saturday.
I'm not doing it.
E?
No way. I never
It'd
said
be
that.
perfect.
Never said that.
Oh,
Could present to your audience
I
with
really
a
did not.
chaplain.
Oh, you know what, dude? I don't remember where I saw it through the weekend, but I did see it was so random. But I did see a guy walking around with a freaking Hitler. Sometime in the weekend, I was walking around. I remember.
did he have his hair parted to the side?
I don't remember, but there was a guy who had a
Some
mustache
normcore dude.
that went from here to like it was absolutely. I wish I would have been more coherent enough to stop and maybe take an image of it, but totally, I saw somebody doing a Hitler over the weekend. I promise you.
And it was narrow like that. It sounds like what you're doing is a little wider than that.
I don't know. I don't exactly know how. Dude, it was close enough that I remember the instant I saw it. I'm like, oh my God, a Hitler.
Yeah. Oh, Kate Upton did the.
Jesus Christ.
Coke in your titties.
Oh my,
thing.
you know what? Kate Upton, fuck you. Like, is this, this goes back to that, how she got mad that that guy put out the dancing video of her. That was just for me. And
That's how she got discovered, right?
But, and then my point is that if you're right, and if you're that worried about why are you doing this then? And also, you're not really doing it, Kate Upton, by the way. You're supposed to have your, naked breasts, but.
We saw enough of those with the Verlander pick.
Well, we did, but.
E, I know how much you love snakes.
Yeah.
Big fan, right?
See, there's something here. This is part of the peeling of the onion.
Yeah.
It's no coincidence that he doesn't like snakes.
That he pretends to be against snakes.
Pretends. I just is not pretending. I fucking hate him.
Well, a Maryland couple is suing their realtor for $2 million for allegedly failing to tell them their new home was infested with snakes. I didn't know a house could be infested with snakes.
No, nor did I.
Who knew? Including one that measured 7 feet long.
Oh my God.
What state is this in?
Oh my God.
Maryland.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, come on now.
Jody and Jeff Brooks and their 2 children moved into this $410,000 home in Annapolis in December. But when the weather began warming up, they learned they were not there alone.
I guess I don't think Maryland's right by Virginia, and Virginia's got the rattlers and shit. So what kind of snakes were they?
I'll get to that. They're rat snakes or something. They're like black. They're not poisonous though. They found 8 black rat snakes, numerous snake skins, and trails of snake feces.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And despite spending $50,000 to try to get rid of them, they were forced to move in with family in April. Mrs. Brooks said that they've been petrified that the snakes might mistake their 7-month-old daughter Lily for vermin and slither into her crib at night.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
wow.
God.
Yeah. Black rat snakes can live for up to 25 years and grow to 7 feet long. They're non-poisonous. They can enter the homes through dryer vents, water pipes, or cable wires.
Oh my God.
So you can't just wait it out. You got 25 years.
And they're having more and more kids as they go.
Yeah.
Gross.
Mr. Brooks started carrying around a machete in the house to kill any snakes that he came across in order to keep them away from his daughter and son, his 4-year-old son. Once they began airing their grievances, they were contacted by other families who had previously lived at the home and suffered the same nightmare.
Yeah.
They are now hoping to get out of their bank loan and hope to sue their realtor and former homeowner, whom they claim knew about the issue but never mentioned it. A local pest company said the infestation was unlike any they had ever seen. When they advised the couple to tear down the walls in the home to look for problem areas, they found tracks the snakes used to move around the home.
That's what I was going to say. $50,000, they must have been ripping down walls.
Yeah, for sure. Even if they did clean out the home of snakes, there's no guarantee they wouldn't return. The lawsuit names Barbara Van Horn, their realtor and neighbor, and the company she works for, Champion Realty. They're also suing the home's former owner, this Joan Brosiker. Van Horn refused to keep a lockbox on the premise while acting as the listing agent and would personally unlock the home and turn on the lights. And upon information, and they believe she would check for snake activity before letting anyone in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one of them.
Yeah.
And some snake skins.
Yeah. Another lesson in perspective, right? I mean, dude, next time you think your house sucks or something,
yeah,
that'd be brutal, dude. Just not being able to lay around your house and relax.
Yeah, that'd be impossible. But don't you think that I thought it was law that you had to have someone come through and do an inspection of sorts whenever you buy a home?
I don't think it's the law. I think it just behooves you.
I think you can waive it.
Yeah.
I think you can waive that, but do people do that? I don't think anybody waives it.
I've never
and
heard of anyone not getting an inspection. You're crazy.
Yeah. I mean, why would you? Now, you can choose to, not take their advice. You can waive it. You can get someone who's shitty at their job.
Yeah, for sure.
Or
I guess I could see the scenario where people are like, it's $200. I just don't want to. Everything looks good to me.
$500,000.
Yeah, but if it's a dude
though?
who knows the trades and shit, it's probably plumbing looks good to me, all this and that.
Yeah, that could be. Do you think they've got a good case there?
I don't know.
I would think so. Although I went through something similar, not with snakes, but with something
water damage
not disclosed. Yeah, where
I think that's a popular one.
Yeah,
people don't disclose the prior water leakage in the basement
in
the Royal Oak or Berkeley area.
Yeah, mine was in Berkeley, and I knew there was some problems, but not. Well, no, I didn't know there were problems. until I went there. And then when you start talking to neighbors and stuff, like they can tell how many, like if your pipes have been snaked a lot, like if you've got problems with things backing up, they can tell because of the metal shit that goes in there to cut through there. So they know if it's, oh, this hasn't been touched in years, or if it's fairly recent. And then, so they were like, oh yeah, this, and people have been here doing work on this. So they were definitely aware there was an issue. And then talking to neighbors, they were like, oh yeah, those trucks were in front of that driveway every fucking 4 times a year. So not disclosed. Everything looks fine when I buy the place. And then within a matter of no time, there's a problem. And I was like, fuck that guy. I'll sue them, dude. You know, and it's like, it's just not that easy. They're like, what are you going to get from him? It's going to cost you more to go after him than it's worth. It's just kind of a fucked up system that they have. And so in the end, you don't do anything and you're stuck paying 10 grand to have new shit drilled out of your house, you know?
Yeah,
so
my sister had the same problem right near you.
Really?
A couple blocks over. Yeah.
In Berkeley?
The big tree roots and shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real problem. And it's something that it doubly pisses you off when you know they knew about it.
Yeah.
And decided to
check that box. No.
Oh, no. I had no idea. Which is, that would be infuriating. If you move into a house and it's absolutely infested with snakes. Holy shit.
7-footers.
Nightmare.
You just got the pea shivers.
Hey, exciting night tonight, by the way. Tonight is the night they're supposed to execute that guy in Texas.
Yeah, the oldest guy on death row.
Mr. Lester Bauer, ladies and gentlemen. He's maintained his innocence.
Most do.
Yeah, as his appeals have wound their way through the court system. He was found guilty of killing 4 people in an airplane hangar in 1983, set to be executed. The oldest Texas prisoner to be put to death, unless the Supreme Court intervenes. I don't think they will. This story is interesting, though. And whenever I read these death row stories, I try to research a little bit about what they did, because they always, if you're just watching the news cycle, they'll just give you like, well, he killed 4 people.
Yeah.
And they don't really go into a whole lot of detail.
He was convicted of killing 4 people.
Right. And so I'm always interested to like see how grisly things got or what happened. And his story is interesting. And I left reading some details and going, might want to hold off on flipping that switch.
No shit.
Yeah. It was back in April 28th, 1984 was the day he was sentenced to death. His wife, Sherry, who's still with him, stands by his side. Juries heard from witnesses attesting to Bauer's gentle and nonviolent character, religious man who'd never been in trouble with the law.
Well, there you go, Mike. We've heard that before.
Oh, that's all we need to hear, right? Yeah. Perfect gentleman, but no tickets, no nothing. He's maintained his innocence. He has alleged his defense at trial was deficient. Prosecutors withheld critical evidence from his attorneys. Moreover, since his conviction, witnesses have come forward to say they know who really killed the 4 men, and it wasn't Les Bowers.
What?
Yeah. Texas courts have repeatedly denied Bauer relief. In 2012, a ruling that denied the majority of his claims on appeal, the judge James Fallon opined that while Bauer's evidence that someone else committed the crime could conceivably have produced a different result at trial, it does not prove by clear and convincing evidence that Bauer is actually innocent.
It seems like that's exact. I mean, if it was true,
I know that's like Jay just kind of goes, "Yeah, sounds reasonable."
Yeah,
as a lawyer, that sounds reasonable. E and I go, "Wait a minute! If you could say that someone else did it, that would absolutely say that maybe he didn't do it. How about we don't pull the switch just yet?" Before moving to the Dallas area in 1983, he and his wife lived in Colorado. He had a couple kids. He was a big-time hobbyist, hunter, outdoorsman, and whitewater rafter, built his own raft frames, designed and sewed his own tents, sleeping bags, down vests. He was federally licensed to sell firearms, which he also collected. So they moved to Texas, and those hobbies become moot. There's no mountains. There's no whitewater rafting. So he's in search of another activity. He picks up flying, ultralight flying, which he's interested in. His wife was not having it. He's nearly 6 feet tall, weighs 250 pounds. An ultralight aircraft is one of those propelled by a lawnmower engine.
Yeah, very 80s thing to do.
Right.
I think there was a Chips episode where they used those.
Yeah, and you might be right. It was kind of what the guy used at the White House to land on the lawn.
Yeah.
So
Stupid.
His wife says, "Over my dead body, are you going to go get involved with these things?" So he was undeterred. He researches the aircraft, deciding he might be able to buy one himself or build one himself. He procured samples of the material that covered in Ultraflight's fixed wings to determine if...
There it is. Didn't we resolve that Cadog built one of these?
Or he would.
could.
Yeah, he
would.
was going to, or he almost did, whatever.
So he finds a guy named Philip Good who was looking to sell an aircraft for $4,500. He makes 3 phone calls to this guy and eventually arranges to meet him on October 8th, 1983 at this hangar where the aircraft, actually owned by a guy named Bob Tate, was stored. Bauer did not tell his wife. He left that morning and he said he was going hunting. He told her, that's what he told her. Instead, that afternoon, he headed to the ranch where he met Tate, Good, and another man named Jerry Brown. He agreed to buy the ultralight, paying $3,000 up front in cash that he'd saved up. The remaining $1,500, he penned an IOU on a business card from his job as a salesman. Bauer says the men helped him disassemble the aircraft, which he loaded onto his truck. When he drove off, Bauer says he insists that the 3 men were very much alive. Or the 4 men were very much alive. That night, Bob Tate, who was one of the guys.
So the motive is to steal an ultralight.
Right. So they didn't come home. One of the guys in this hangar didn't come home. And so his wife's like, what the fuck? She goes to the hangar, finds one of the guys murdered, and immediately backs away, calls police. They come and they find that these 4 guys have been killed almost execution style. One guy has 5 bullets in him. The other had 2 bullets in each of their heads. And the aircraft was missing. So cops recovered 11 shell casings that examiners would determine were an exotic brand of ammunition that had been fired from a .22. The Texas Rangers and the FBI were called into the investigation. Why would they call the Texas Rangers in? I mean,
off season? I don't know.
Yeah, why would
Nolan
a baseball
Ryan
team be able to?
Right.
I mean, Nolan Ryan was a prominent figure with the Rangers in '83, but I mean, seriously, I mean, it seems like they would just bring in a whole team over there would just get in the way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where they went wrong in this investigation so many years ago.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah.
You just get in there.
Just seems odd. It struck me as odd.
Yeah, and they're just start chucking fastballs. I don't know what that'd do with anything.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool to hang out with them and all. That'd be fun, but
No
I mean,
question.
I think the FBI is more up to the task. But anyway, before long, the FBI discovered Bauer's repeated calls to Good as he was making the arrangements to meet him. So they sought to question him. He ultimately acknowledged that he'd spoken to Good, but insisted he'd never been to the hangar, which was a lie. Problem.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem.
And didn't know about the murders or the missing ultralight. He lied because he was afraid. He didn't know what had happened after he left the hangar or if he had been seen by the killer or killers and wanted to protect his family. If I came forward, what might happen about the safety of my family? Then, of course, I had not exactly been truthful with my wife, so there was a level of embarrassment there family-wise. And once you kind of start a lie, it just kind of grows and rolls along. It just consumed me.
Wait, he wasn't truthful with his wife about buying the ultralight?
He didn't tell her he was going there that morning.
Yeah.
He just
So he thought he'd just, I got to just fly in one day. I'm just flying to work today.
Well,
what do you mean flying to work? Well, I got this ultralight.
He was gonna build it himself. So it sounds like he was getting parts and doing this.
Hey, look, it's done.
Yeah, well, he didn't. She was bitching about it. She's like, and he figures, if I build it on my own, do my own thing, and maybe I can keep it on the down low and work her over. I don't know. I could see pulling a stunt like that. And he goes, yeah, honey, I'm going hunting. And then he goes off to the hangar and all hell breaks loose. So he says, in a search of the Bauer home, investigators found pieces of the ultralight. Bauer was arrested. He was charged with 4 counts of capital murder. The state also had another piece of evidence it considered damning. The Italian-made Fiacci ammunition shell casings collected at the scene. The ammunition was exceedingly rare, had no purpose other than for killing people, the state insisted. It had evidence that Bauer was one of the very few people who had actually purchased it. Not looking good for my man.
No, it's good enough for me. Guilty.
No murder weapon was ever recovered, but the rare nature of the ammo was enough to draw a direct line between Bauer and the murder. Other evidence remained unaccounted for. The $3,000 that Bauer said he paid Tate was never found. A business card was found in Tate's pocket. The card was later lost. Less than 3 months after he was arrested and just after 2 hours of deliberation, he was convicted of murder. It was not until Bauer was entering his 5th year on death row that his new defense team would start to understand how much was previously unknown about the state's case about their client. According to documents maintained by the FBI, but never turned over to his defense by prosecutors, what the state presented to the jury about the Fiacci ammunition was not accurate. Amid thousands of pages of records ultimately released to the lawyers was evidence that the state knew the ammunition was nowhere near as rare as prosecutors and witnesses had suggested, that it was marketed for small game hunting and often used for practice shooting, not just for killing people, and that Bauer was hardly alone in having purchased it. His lawyers had to file multiple Freedom of Information Act requests and ultimately sue to get all the withheld documents. Also in the records was a detailed and previously undisclosed tip that the murders were actually connected to drug dealing in the area. The FBI was told in 1983 that local drug supplies had dwindled after a source was knocked off in Sherman, quote. Bauer's lawyers point out that at the time there were no other murder victims in Sherman. What's more, at the time, allegations existed that one of the victims, Tate, had been involved in cocaine trafficking in the years leading up to the murders. Allegations that investigators knew about, but these claims went uninvestigated. The unraveling of the case continued when in 1989, a woman identified publicly only as Pearl, her identity has been protected in court records, read an article about an appeal of Bauer's case. She told Bauer's lawyers she knew who killed the 4 men inside the plane hangar and that Bauer wasn't one of them. According to Pearl, her then boyfriend, Lynn, and his friends, Chess and a guy either named Rocky or Bear, committed the murders in connection to a drug deal gone wrong. She heard Lynn and Chess talk about the killings. She knew that Lynn suffered from a repeated nightmare where he saw one of the victim's eyes staring at him and heard the sound of gunshots reverberating off of metal walls at the crime scene. Pearl's story, which she has testified to several times, has been corroborated by others, including the wife of one of the men, who said that she too knew that her husband had been and was involved in the hangar murders. In an interview with a defense investigator, Chess also admitted in the 1980s he owned a .22 pistol and used Fiat ammunition. Defense attorneys have argued that the state failed to comply with its legal obligation under Brady v. Maryland to turn over to defense exculpatory and impeachment evidence. They say Bauer was also hamstrung by the deficient performance of his defense attorney, who not only failed to investigate the background of the victims, but adopted a hasty and untenable defense strategy, blocking Bauer from testifying on his own behalf. Bauer wanted to take the stand, although he had lied to the FBI about being at the hangar and buying the ultralight. He quickly confessed once he'd been jailed, telling both family members and his attorney the real story. Les and I said, he's got to tell his story. This is his wife saying this. But his lawyer said, well, I don't think that's a good idea. And I've already told them that you weren't here, so we're going with that.
Do you remember the one lesson I remember from criminal law class?
Yeah.
My teacher said, my professor
shit,
said, never, ever put your lying, guilty defendant on the stand.
Yeah, which is what he's trying to do there. In response to his appeals, the state of Texas has agreed with Buckner's assessment. Moreover, it is argued that the alternate theory of the crime testified to by Pearl and others is preposterous, and that the materials it failed to turn over to the defense regarding the availability and uses of the Fiat ammunition were meaningless, and would not have done anything to help Bauer to avoid conviction if the evidence concerning the ultralight and Bauer's nefarious behavior in that regard was the most damaging. So the FBI said the FBI documents do not undermine this evidence. To date, the courts have essentially agreed. And lastly, it has been more than 31 years since he was sent to death row. He's among the longest serving. So anyway, he might be being fried literally as we speak. Right?
He's gone. I just checked.
Is he?
Wow.
Yeah, it's 3 hours ago. He went into
Damn, we were about to get behind that, right, Mike?
6:36.
I felt some momentum building.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. See, I read something like that. Like, I know most people think that Officer Walters just like fry them all across the board. But I think reading something like that and FBI documents, there's enough there that you'd go, whoa.
Dude, guaranteed 8 different courts have looked at appeals on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know. You read something like that and you hear it from the perspective of the writer is going, look at all this that they missed. And you don't really read the other side and go, no, look at it, how it was presented and why that's not credible or why that doesn't matter or why that really doesn't fit the way they're suggesting it does. I don't know. I'm just suggesting there's another side probably.
But when you look at something like that, I tend to look at a guy's life and go, okay, could conceivably some guy who's a family man with a good job and children, never been in trouble with the law, goes to church on a regular basis, of course he can be a monster. Of course he can. Mm-hmm. However, in all likelihood, is that guy going to go murder 4 people over a $4,000 toy? That just seems off right there. And it seems like their case was built on going, well, this rare ammunition that he had bought at one time, that's enough to send him away. That's the link we needed. And you see that in cases where you get stuck on one idea of what it is.
But maybe it's a faulty premise, though. Maybe he's not that great guy, and this is just his one left turn in life. Yeah. Maybe that's how it's being presented by his side. But if you really examine him and if people are really truthful family members and so forth, he was a monster just building up to that.
Yeah. But don't you think if someone comes forward in a case like Pearl and says, oh, my God, I know the guy who committed these murders, and there are other witnesses who come forward and go, yeah, that was my husband, and his shitty buddies in a drug deal gone wrong, and then you go, wow, this guy's apparently involved in coke trafficking. You could see where all of a sudden you go, wait a minute, that I could see that playing out way more in a drug deal gone wrong than I could in some guy happens to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And who knows, maybe he did this, but I'm just saying,
right,
for argument's sake, you could see how people.
There are some curious facts for sure, but I still point to the fact that there's been multiple appeals and it's been looked at up and down. So I have great faith in the criminal justice system.
I know you do. I don't know. I guess we'll never know now, and it's kind of irrelevant now because he's gone.
He's gone.
I don't even know why we're talking about this.
I think personally,
there goes his life force.
There are enough cases where we know that people have been wrongfully sent to the death chamber and have been killed for that. I think I have no problem getting behind something where the Boston bomber, and it's admitted, you know it, the crime is what it is, and you go, fuck that guy. Fry him. Some guy on video gunning down people in a murderous rage. Fuck him. Fry him. But cases like this, when you're going back 30 years and and there's any hint of question about evidence, at that point it's like, wait a minute. But you're probably right that they've gone through the appeals.
Yeah, I think they did go, wait a minute, and that's why he's the oldest man on death row.
Yeah. But if on the fifth appeal, getting to the very end, all of a sudden there's some new evidence. I don't know. Maybe not.
And there's always people too, and who knows if this is the case, but people who want to involve themselves in cases.
Yeah.
And a lady like Pearl, who knows, comes forward later because she's been reading about the case and she's a psycho herself, and so she wants to insert herself into that.
And then there's another psycho that happens to corroborate the story. I mean, it just seems
what I'm
reading
saying,
stuff
though,
like that.
as shit goes on and then stuff comes out decades later. Well, we've seen cases like that where people are trying to insert themselves.
Yeah.
There's multiple explanations for this shit.
Yeah. And maybe I need to read more about it because I'm sure you're right that there's another side that goes, oh, here's what they're not telling you about this. I don't know. Anyway. Interesting story, though.
Goodbye, Mr.
Bauer.
Yeah. Godspeed.
Lester. Yep. He's no longer with us. Apparently he was cooked tonight. 6 o'clock was when it
They don't cook him anymore, Mike.
Yeah, he was injected.
Indeed.
At 6 o'clock?
At 6:16, it was pronounced dead. 16 minutes later.
Did he have the 3-drug cocktail that we're so familiar with?
I believe he did.
What was his last meal?
It didn't say.
What?
I got his
this
last.
is an outrage.
I got his last words.
What were they?
Oh.
I did it. I did it.
I didn't do it.
He said.
Last words are so
he
weird.
said something about fighting the good fight.
Well,
fight.
not fighting that anymore.
No.
He said, I do have remorse. I'm remorseful for putting my family and my wife and my friends through this. If this is going to bring some closure to them, the victim's family, then good. But if they think by this they're executing the person that killed their loved one, then that's going to come up a little bit short.
His actual last words. Much has been said about this case. Much has been written about this case. Not all of it has been the truth, but the time for discerning truth is over and it's time to move on. That's when he's strapped on the gurney.
Wow.
So he's kind of a hard ass.
Yeah.
Last words are so weird to me.
What would your last words be?
God.
Fuck you, Jay.
Or whatever.
I want them to be like, oh, I remember I said before. My hope would be is that I'd sit in that bed and they'd sit there and I'd be like, to everyone that I know and blah, blah, blah. I didn't care about any of you. Fuck you.
I think mine might be go fuck yourself too.
There you go.
Yeah. Jay?
Yeah, something along those lines. Something along those lines.
I just want people to know that.
Say something to your family.
God, yeah.
Get all
I have decided
teary and emotional, like I'm not going to get to see you again.
I have decided that I know by whenever I die, I get the DVDs aren't going to probably whatever. Well, you're going away already.
Be obsolete.
Right. But in some capacity, if I have a choice, if I had the choice where I'm sitting on the bed and they're like, okay, we're going to take off, blah, blah, blah. I want The Simpsons on.
Okay.
And I want a Natty Ice.
Yeah. Neither of which you'll get.
Look, listen, Zotford and Holly has everything you need, period. Yes, they have the all-new 2015 F-150, the all-new 2015 Mustang, and the all-new 2015 Edge, and they even have the new 2016 Explorer in their stock right now.
We do?
Yes, they have the hottest sales staff in Oakland County. Yes, they have all makes and models in their pre-owned department. So don't worry if you want something other than a Ford. Zotford can get you whatever vehicle you want or need. That is correct. They don't just sell Fords. They have Chevys, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and occasionally they even have stock some foreign whips.
Oh, you wrote that.
If it has 4 wheels and an engine, Zotford can help you buy it. and they can help you out right now. Check out their massive inventory and ridiculous deals at zotford.com. That's SZOTT.
ISIS, our friends in ISIS, chucked 3 more gay guys off the roof of a building.
Man, that's extreme.
Yeah, and they're trying to get like GoPro pictures of it.
Come on.
Yeah, look at there they are holding the guy's ankles.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then chucking him. You can see him falling.
Just evil dudes.
Yeah, and then there's a mountain of people here.
Sure.
That have
watch
driven for miles to check it out, and they supply. ISIS supplies rocks so that on impact, when these people don't die, they're stoned and finished off by the onlooking crowd.
2015, folks.
2015. Yep. This is going on in the world, and we're having discussions about whether Caitlyn Jenner is beautiful or not.
Whether she got a boner during her pictures.
Yeah. Whether or not she actually has a noose left anymore. There's debate about that, whether the noose is there or gone.
Oh, it's tucked.
It looks tucked. Why would you be sitting like this?
Yeah. She's got the fruit cup.
Yeah. This guy's Can you imagine being blindfolded and dangled off a 100-foot high building and dropped to your death? These people, man, I don't know what else can be said about them. They do say that women are even allowed to show up to these things. They're granted special permission to leave their homes in order to witness these.
Such a special
things.
event.
Yeah. Yep. They enable them to leave their homes.
Oh
to go
my!
check this out and witness it.
How nice!
Yeah. This idea of women joining this group, like, really? The oppression of it all. And then we got a 14-year-old sexual assault victim impregnated by a family member. Great news. I know you love these stories, Jay. I'm sorry. Sorry. Was beaten by other family members.
Wow.
Still on board?
Yeah.
Still on board. Who was on board at the beginning? He's like, still on board.
To deliver a stillborn baby, who then took the remains and burned them on a charcoal grill. Holy fuck. There they are.
Get the Kingsford out. Wow. That's some problem solving, huh?
So you're saying you're a charcoal man, Jay? Over propane?
No, I'm too lazy for charcoal, honestly. I know a lot of people stand by that.
They yell at you. Like,
yeah.
You haven't had a hot dog or obviously not a hot steak unless you've had it on charcoal.
There's probably something to that, but I'm just too lazy.
Fuck it, dude.
The victim was assaulted repeatedly between January and March of 2013. She eventually gave birth to a stillborn at their house in Dallas, Texas. Police have arrested 4 suspects in connection with the crime. They allege that Cedric Jones, Sharon Jones.
Oh, look at that dude.
Is that one of them?
Is that the perp?
That's the accused.
That's the guy who was banging her?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he'd bang his sister.
He's a good looking guy.
Yeah.
Oof.
What's going on with those eyes?
Yeah. A little bit of crazy eyes going. Cecilia McDonald and Lionel McDonald. Lionel McDonald?
Come on,
dude.
Come on.
That's Lionel McDonald, man.
They didn't have a chance.
Look at Lionel
like that.
McDonald.
Lionel, man.
Oh, Lionel
Lionel
McDonald? No,
Lionel
McDonald.
That is a beautiful looking family.
Yeah.
Can you tell the difference between which one's like the guys and which ones are the girls?
Yeah.
You can? I don't know.
Can you tell which one's Lionel McDonald?
They kind of all look like guys to me. But.
They're also accused of trying to cover it up by burning the dead infant's body on a charcoal grill before disposing of it at an unknown location. The young girl told Dallas police she was sexually assaulted by a member of her family, but did not report the abuse because she was embarrassed. The suspects discovered that she was pregnant and began attempts forcing her to abort the baby. She came forward and made a full statement to officers. Sharon Jones is alleged to have given the girl multiple doses of birth control pills, as well as emergency contraception pills and cinnamon tablets. Yeah. When the pills failed to abort the baby, Cecilia is accused of pinning the girl down while Lionel McDonald...
Ridiculous. How ridiculous. Come on.
While Lionel McDonald repeatedly bounced up and down on the girl as well as kicking her.
Dude.
The final assault lasted 6 hours. It is alleged that the suspects wanted to dispose of the body in case Child Protective Services came and took away their other children because of this initial sex assault. So they're like, Cecilia told the girl, "You ain't about to get my kids taken away from me." So they figure, if they figure out that he banged this chick, his sister, and got her pregnant, they might take all our kids.
Mm.
So the attack continued until the girl started bleeding heavily and delivered stillborn about 2 hours later.
14-year-old. Damn.
Cedric was given $25 to take care of the rest of it, dumping the remains.
To throw it on the grill?
No,
Or to
after
take
it
it
was
off
on
the
the grill, take it off the grill and just get rid of it somewhere.
So do you
25
use one of
bucks?
those big spatulas? Like
yeah,
the big
Well,
grilling
you don't want to
spatulas?
touch it; you burn your hands.
Yeah.
$25.
$25.
Jesus.
Yep.
So picture that. I mean, we've all scraped.
I know.
We've all scraped stuff off the grill, right?
Do you use the steel wool brush side
Afterward, right?
Yeah,
Right.
you
Do you
would
get the
have
baby
to.
meat off of there before you
Oh.
cook your next meal?
baby meat? God damn it!
I think I'm recusing
I'm
myself
just-
from this.
I think you got to ask the question.
Would that stink? That would stink, wouldn't it?
Yes, burning human flesh. is
No,
horrible.
it would probably just smell like just
Like
cow
a steak?
flesh. Yeah.
No,
Really?
it doesn't.
Probably smell delicious.
No, whoa. Isn't that a fact that like burning human flesh is absolutely a horrible smell? Or
Didn't we already talk about cooking kids today? I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's,
Nick, are you
that's the
suggesting there's
stank
too
that
many-
comes from it being in a car, just a slow cook, the release of the bowels.
Yeah.
Mickey's uncomfortable.
No,
with,
this is putting it
child
on
murder.
a grill and cooking it, man. And I don't know why the human meat would be any different than any other mammal.
I'm serious. I guess I thought
Into the mic, you son of a
I'm-
bitch.
no one's ever heard. Maybe never. I guess I'm wrong. I swear I've heard that the idea of burning human flesh was even worse. Maybe it's just I don't
Yeah,
know.
I've heard that too. But I don't know. I kind of agree with Jay. Maybe we should try it.
E?
E?
Can you give us an arm? Lend us an arm.
A leg,
ISIS will chop
Fine,
it
a
out for
leg.
you.
Come on, just a leg.
just at the knee.
It's not even. Are you part of the show, dude? Come on.
What? No, I'm not letting you burn one.
We'll give you $500.
No,
$600.
no.
Reroute some Kickstarter
A
funds.
finger. How about a finger?
No,
Pinky toe.
One that's hardly used.
no.
We could microwave a pinky toe.
They're
Yeah.
all used on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That's true. That grip.
How am I gonna? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it stinks pretty bad. I guess we'll never know since E won't be a team
Yeah.
player, doesn't care about the show.
No, but I just worry about the next use.
Of the grill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to just go ahead and get a whole new grate, I think.
As if
Because you can't just cook and then eat the baby
Jay.
meat. What?
they just paid a dude $25 to kind of finish the deal. You think they're about to get a new grate after that?
So
How-
they're just going to eat the baby meat remnants.
I think they
already-
underpaid too. Why would $25? I mean, you get what you pay for. I mean, do you think he really discarded those remains properly?
Yeah,
For
he probably just
25
whipped
bucks?
it over the fence.
Yeah, he went, yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Little
Chuckaroo.
sweeperoo.
Yeah, totally a sweeperoo. They probably
Mhm.
found it in minutes. Yeah, they didn't think this through. What?
What do you got, Mickey?
I don't know. Do you guys actually want to know how it smells?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ugh.
Burning skin has a charcoal-like smell.
I like charcoal.
It's on charcoal already. They got the Kingston out.
While setting hair on fire
Kingsford.
produces a
Kingsford.
sulfurous odor.
Hair stinks.
Yeah,
yes.
hair definitely stinks.
That's due to keratin.
Yeah.
Your nails also smell really bad when you burn them.
Didn't know that.
All right, we're talking about a stillborn infant, probably very little hair,
So it
very
says
little nails.
it says
Yeah.
specifically here that muscle
teeth.
smells fine, smells like beef.
Huh?
Yep.
So
As
we're-
Jay said,
But the other stuff that's inside doesn't smell so good.
we're cooking with kids here. This is
I
good.
don't want to do that.
Yeah, all
Well-
the innards, all the organs and shit doesn't smell good.
Apparently.
Well, but it wouldn't smell horrible.
I think
all
we
we're
can
saying.
agree on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I was going to do another story that's horrific, but I'll save it.
Okay.
I think we've done enough horrific stories for one day. What do we got for email, Jay?
Yes, we do have some email, Mike. Kevin writes in, I bought a router / modem for my house because not like Jay, I do have cable and trying to save money because they charge you a rental fee for that shit. So anyway, I will be using the link for all my up and coming purchases. Amazon link.
Mm.
Also, while at work, I yell out, Mr. Johnson, your briefcase for no reason at all. My buddies at work say, what the fuck does that mean? And I try to explain it, but I get nowhere. So I tell them to listen. I said good day, sir.
Good
From
day, sir.
Kevin.
I said good day. Yeah, I found myself doing that too, walking around going, Mr. Johnson, your brief.
Jay at one point today when I was sitting there, all of a sudden I hear him go, "Look at that proofs," and I'm like, "Are you actually?" And I was like, "Are you looking at one right now?" He's like, "No." Just saying
Beth
it.
or
Just exclaimed it.
Gab sent me a link today.
Oh, I
that
saw
just
that.
said,
Proops.
Look at that, Proops.
Did you see that?
Oh,
Proops?
I did. I most certainly did.
What was that? A Persian cat getting a face trim?
He just looked so smug.
He did. He just sat there and let the groomer Just trim him up.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great little Proops. I would like one of those.
Yeah. JW writes in, also in the Amazon link here, Law Dog, Hoarder, and Cumstain. If it is possible to get the Detroit Cast credit and loot while using an iPhone or Android Amazon app, or is it possible? Yes, it is. Well, it's possible if you use your phone to go to our mobile site.
Yeah,
so
you
use our
can't
browser.
use the Amazon app because that wouldn't work properly. But
Got
you can go to our website first and then click the link, and then
just as you would on a desktop.
Yeah,
and it still looks really good on the mobile device. It doesn't look any worse than the app.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So JW says, I buy things every now and then, but my ball and chain has an addiction, and I think I could really help you out. Probably pay your mortgage with her shopping. Goodbye, BUI. Other notes. E, talking to the microphone and speak coherently. I have a new buddy listening, but you're turning him off. We've heard that more and more recently.
Yeah, a lot.
Keep it up. My feedback is that you guys are great, but there are days when you have a long, slow start, and it doesn't make for good listening. JW.
Oh,
I'll have to agree with you, JW. Brian writes in, attention, host, co-host, I'm host, and cock nozzle. A moment to discuss. Yeah, I got host.
That's not fair. You knew what was coming. That's cheating.
All right, I'll take co-host.
I'll take host. You get cock nozzly.
Please.
Unless, Mickey, unless you want it.
Nah, you got it, buddy. It's
Okay.
all you, E. Sorry.
Please, and I say please, can you make a show sample from the other day about the Poos v. Proops? I hearken back to an email that started the show, whether we all missed an important behind-the-scenes show detail about when look at the Poos turned into look at that Proops.
Look at that Proops.
I don't remember explaining the difference between that.
We did.
You
we
did.
talked about it for sure.
It was the idea that Mike says it's just his stuff kind of tends to transform. He makes right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Where it's at any given time you can hear me say, "Look at the poos, look at that Proops, look at that Proopsoos, look at the Poopsoos." Any one of those things can be used. They all mean the same thing. There's no difference between any of them. It just matters what.
It's not just a dog. It's anything cute.
Anything
it's any
cute,
sort of animal.
except humans. It's got to be an animal.
Well, it could be a human.
No,
You've used it with humans. You've
Yes, you
used
have.
it with little
Oh,
kids.
yeah,
With
yeah.
old men you've used
And
it with.
Abby. Let's not forget
yeah.
Abby.
Well, Abby. Yeah, like I said, animals.
Where are my
Oh.
glasses? Where are my pink
Look
glasses?
at that Proops.
Yeah. She was a proof.
Yeah, she qualified. She qualified.
I
Usually it's animals, and they've got to be cute.
Yeah, so Brian wants that as a show sample. And speaking of the show samples, you guys please use those. Go to the Interact, I believe it is, the tab on our home page. Pull those up, and those are meant to be shared around. Easy little nuggets people can listen to and get a sense of what the show's about.
Email them to your friends wherever they are in the world.
Yep.
Share them on social media, whatever.
You got it. Dan writes in. He's sending in his resume for temporary host replacement. Gentleman and dork, I would like to respectfully submit my curriculum vitae as a temporary replacement for the esteemed host, the King. I am under the understanding that the King's services may not be available due to. Dude, I can't fucking read today. I am so
You want
tired.
me to read it?
I am so fucking. I can't even see these words.
I'll read it.
No, I got it.
All right. I'm sorry, buddy. We're almost done.
Bear with me, everyone. A temporary replacement for the esteemed host, the King. I am of the understanding the King's services may not be available due to his dream trip with the retard, be it finding the convenient spot to push it off a cliff along the Appalachian Trail or choking it to death for his inadequacies during the Great Race. Please do not consider me for the position of tard, inept producer, as I lack the necessary skills. However, I was glancing at the moon the other night and wondered to myself if Jay was looking at it also. Qualifications. I can sing karaoke to Africa in the appropriate octave. I possess a great appreciation for the Proops.
Yeah, look at it.
I understand the principles of how to not get shot by Officer Walters and other esteemed officers, in addition to breaking down a situation of a police shooting human trash with expert precision. I'm not a lawyer, but one of my best friends is and would be willing to offer his insights to ensure that the crown is spoken appropriately. I know where the bean is located and precisely how to manipulate it to maximum pleasure, either digitally, orally, or penousely. References available. That's a great line.
Maximum pleasure.
So he's basically saying he needs two people to take over for a Jay Detroit
Sounds
cast.
like it. I have a wife, one daughter, and two sons. There are a plethora of stories to go along with each. I have little tolerance for stupid. I have effectively expressed talking points on a whiteboard. Remaining qualifications can be detailed fully if I am considered for an interview on TDC with Jay and Mike. Shall I call into what is it? 1844 fuckface?
Yeah, Fukfase.
Fukfase. Yeah.
844 Fukfase.
Please advise the date and time. Ciao, Dan. I don't know. He's in the running. I'd say he's in the running.
He's in the running to replace E or you?
Me.
You.
Me, when I go on the show, when I go on the.
Isn't there a problem
Amazing
with
Race.
that?
What?
By the way, I thought I saw from someone, maybe they just emailed me
I didn't see anything
about that race when it takes place is right when you're supposed to do your race in Vegas.
Oh, if it's in November 1st, that would be true.
So
Get a reprieve on that, couldn't we?
yeah, absolutely.
We could. That'd be remarkable
Yeah.
enough to ask for a reprieve.
Right.
Yeah,
Appeal that. Here, dude. I'm dying here.
I know. Why don't we save it for tomorrow?
Okay, that's fine.
Let's do that. Shut it down. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us. We got to get Jay out of here. He's dying. Hopefully he makes it home in one piece. And but we'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it all again tomorrow for an all new Friday edition of the Detroit Cast.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch